Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. All right, so today's video, we're going to be doing some more fall DIYs. These turn out fantastic. I'm absolutely in love with these, actually. A few of them are so good that it's going to take a lot to top them for the season because they're just my absolute favorite. And one of them is like the simplest DIY ever, and it turns out so stinking cute, y'all. All right, now if you are new to this channel and you enjoy DIYs, you enjoy decor on a budget, like a major budget, you enjoy some positive, uplifting, just good old friend hanging out time, then be sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. All right, with all that being said, let's jump right in. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Let's get started. DIY number one. So for this one, I've got some hemp rope. Now I picked this up on Amazon. I like it better because it doesn't have all the little like frayed pieces. I've also got this buffalo check material that was actually sent to me in a goodie box months ago, probably a year ago actually, and I still use it. I have got this tray that I picked up from the Dollar General store. It was $1. Super big. This is a really good size tray. Now, I've got my Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm going to actually use it to put down the material. So, I added it to my tray. I added way too dadblame much, but we'll fix that in just a minute. But anyways, so I just smeared that on good with a paintbrush. I like to get it super smooth. That way you don't have any bubbles or wrinkles or anything. The Aleene's tacky glue works perfect for this. It's literally perfect for projects like this. Now, I just laid my material down, smoothed it out real good, made sure that I got all around the edges really good, and then I'm just going to trim it off. And I'm actually going to go back and trim around the edges, but I'm not worried about getting it perfect because we're going to go in with that hemp rope. And oh, goodness gracious. I got a little puppy in here with me today, and she is not happy. Okay, so like I was saying, we're going to take that hemp rope, and we are going to go right along that inside edge. So we're going to eventually cover up all of the material. Not all of the material, but you know what I'm saying. Like any excess that's around the edge or anything, we're going to completely cover that with the hemp rope. So not a big deal. I just trimmed it off best I could, and then I go in with my rope. Y'all, I'm literally just adding my hot glue and then simply adding the rope all the way around this tray. This was such an easy DIY, and it is so pretty when you're done. Very versatile. You can use this as a tray. You could use it as a backdrop. It is so stinking pretty. All right, moving right along. DIY number two. So for this one, I have got a set of these racetracks that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Now, this DIY, I saw another creator kind of sort of make. Theirs was a little different than this, but it was still the same idea, okay? And I believe it was She's So Crafty. I'm not totally sure on that. So if I can find the video, I will link it below. But I did get this from another creator. I got the wooden plank there that you see. I picked that up at Walmart. And all I did was pull out the staples, pulled off the hanger. And then I also took a little bit of putty and filled in the holes. And then that finial knob, I picked that up at Hobby Lobby for like $2. I've got my white Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just going to give these racetracks, I believe it was like 3 good coats before I had it completely covered. I kind of dry brushed at the finial cap, but I used my heat gun in between coats to dry it, but I did paint the front and the back. So as you see there, solid painted white. I'm going to take some antique wax and just do it to it here. I'm going to put it all over this racetrack. We're going to go back with a baby wipe and wipe it back off, but I really wanted this to have some distressing on it and to kind of make this look like wood possibly instead of obviously a racetrack. I didn't want anybody to be able to tell that it was a racetrack. Like literally as soon as I was done with this DIY, I took pictures of it and sent it to my best friend and was like, okay, tell me what this is made out of. Because it's just so stinking neat. Like, I love this. So, like I said, I took a baby wipe and just went back and wiped it off. I wanted a lot of the antique wax to be down in the cracks. And then I just wanted a little bit of it to be kind of on the solid surfaces or whatever. You'll be able to tell when I'm completely done just exactly how I did it. But I just added plenty to it and then went back and wiped it off. It would kind of just fall into the cracks where I wanted it. Now, I did take my brush and what was left on it and add it to our little wooden plank that we got. This is actually a sign from Walmart. They're like $4.98, I believe. Pretty good size. I mean, it's a decent size. I'm not sure exactly what the measurements is on it, but it's a good size. But I did go around the edges of it with the antique wax and then also through the middle because that's going to be on the bottom of our lantern. So if you didn't know by now, we're making a lantern. I gave it away. Anyways, so I took my baby wipe and just went back and wiped back off what I had put on there. So that it was just on there enough that it's going to match the racetrack pieces. But it's not taken away from that, white weathered wood, because I really wanted that to still, kind of shine through. That's why on the racetrack pieces, I took my baby wipe and wiped it to the point that you could still see the white paint, because I wanted it to kind of both go in together. So, like I said, those two pieces, that looks perfect together. Then I'm going to take the finial knob and we're just going to add our antique wax just like we did to the other pieces. And then I'm going to take my baby wipe and wipe it right back off. Super simple, and this turns out so stinking pretty. All right, now I have got my Starbond multi-purpose, let me try to say that again, medium adhesive, and also the accelerator. So what I did was put the glue on the end of the racetrack, and then I sprayed the wooden piece with my accelerator, and then just pop that racetrack right down in there. So I just kind of butted it up against the corner. Super simple. It sticks immediately. That accelerator is just fantastic. It literally makes the glue turn into like a hard plastic. So it's gonna stick. I mean, it's there. Once you put it down, it is there. So I just, like I said, added my glue to the end of the racetrack, then sprayed the wood with the accelerator, and then just popped my racetrack right down in the corner, as close to the corner as I could possibly get it. I would just hold it in place for a minute, let that dry. Now we're going to add the finial cap, literally just putting some glue on it, add my accelerator straight to the racetrack. Now, when this was done, we're through making it, I actually took some greenery and also some fall candles and just placed those inside here. And that's all I did to this, y'all. And it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And you would never know that it was a racetrack. I did have to take my paintbrush and go back over a couple spots that had kind of messed up where I was touching them. But y'all, this is done. It's gorgeous. All right, I'm so excited about this next one, y'all. So I have got this little sign that I picked up at the Dollar General store for $4. Believe I got it last year on clearance, like after season. So I probably got it for 50 or 75% off. I've got a wreath form from the Dollar Tree, and then also 3 of these adult size hula skirts from the Dollar Tree. Now, first thing I did was just get my hula skirt out. I'm going to separate it out a little bit. I'm just going to take a portion of it, cut it off. We're just going to separate it out. And I believe I got like 4 or 5 sections like this right here, that size, out of each hula skirt, because I believe it was 10 altogether. I want to say I got 5 out of one of them and 4 out of the other, which means I just went a little bigger with the other side. But anyways, it was just the right amount though. It was perfect. I only used 2 of the hula skirts though. So I tightened it up at the top where the twine was, and then I taped it down to my table so that I could just simply braid it. And I did it in kind of a loose braid because I wanted it to be like, once you put it on the wreath form, I wanted it to still be kind of, kind of bulky, kind of chunky. This turns out so stinking cute. Oh my gosh, y'all. So in love with this one. So like I said, I just braided it down. And then when I got to the end, I would wrap it with my masking tape and then snip off the excess. So simply braiding it down to the end, tape it off, snip off the excess. And I did this, like I said, it was 9 or 10 of them that I ended up making just like this. So I just put on a good YouTube show and got to braiding. I took my wreath form and completely wrapped it in my masking tape. 1, because I would have something to glue my hula skirt to, and 2, because it's pretty close to the same color as the hula skirt. So if for some reason any part of this showed, it would be the same color as the hula skirt, or pretty close. But what I did was just add some glue to the wreath form and then begin to lay down my braids. So like I braided that first one to the top, kind of close to the outside, because I knew I was going to come back in, with another one and get around the center portion of it. So I started with the outside, just simply gluing it down. And I just continued this process all the way around the wreath form. What I wanted to do was lay down my first set of braids. So I would have like 4 of them laid down. That's going to be the, bottom of this piece. Then I took the pieces that were going to go on top of that to make it more full and like bulky. And when I would start or end with those pieces, I would actually tuck those in the braid. That way you couldn't see where, one started and one ended. Or one ended and one started, however you say that. Y'all know what I meant. Anyways, I didn't want you to be able to see any kind of seam or where any of this was. I wanted it to just look like it was just completely wrapped in this big old, just set of rope or whatever you want this to look like. But I think this is beautiful. It really turns out great. I'm super proud of it. I actually had started out trying to wrap it around and around and around and around, like that, like tuck it around and around and around. And it just didn't look right. So that's what caused me to decide to actually put it, on it this way, to use the whole piece. Anyway, so once I got it like I wanted it, I took my little sign and I'm just going to add some hot glue to the back. Super simple, just going right around the edge, and then I'm just going to pop it down right in the center of this wreath form. I then began placing my greenery in, my florals. So I started out with the greenery, the lamb's ear, and I just kind of tucked it right inside the braid. Very simple. It literally slid right down inside that braid. It felt very secure. I knew it was going to stay in there. You could just tell that it was, good and secure in there. Once I finished the greenery, though, and started going in with the flowers, I realized that it was way easier just to hot glue them into place. So that's what I did with them. I just snipped them off right at the edge of the bloom itself, and then I just hot glued that particular piece down into my wreath. I use some of the new picks that they've got out at the Dollar Tree that I absolutely love. And this turns out stunning. All right, moving right along, DIY number 4. So for this one, I've got last year's farmer's market calendar. I'm going to use that little small pumpkin picture there. I have got some ribbon that came from the Dollar Tree, and also one of them came from Hobby Lobby. And then I've got one of these wood blocks that came from the Dollar Tree. I'm also going to be using some beads, and now I get my beads off of Amazon. It's just a better deal. Very good price. I will definitely leave a link in the description box for those beads. So the first thing I did was just add half of my beads. I think I had 20 or 25 beads, something like that. So I added half of them to an old coffee mug, and then I added in some of the pumpkin chalk paint by Waverly. I shook it up a little bit and then realized, like, oh crap, I forgot the water. So I went and grabbed my water bottle, added in a couple squirts of the water, not much, just a little bit, just enough to get that paint, you know, kind of moving around good. Shook them around, then poured them out and took a paper towel, and I'm just going to kind of squish at them with the paper towel. Just kind of dabbing them, getting the excess paint off. And this way, they're kind of stained orange. Instead of like painted orange, they look more stained. You can still see some of the wood grain through the bead. Now, once I got my beads ready, I've got those set to the side. They're drying. I'm going to take our little wood block and some washi tape, and we're going to tape this off and actually do a buffalo check pattern on the top of this. So this was super, super simple, but I'm going to tell you exactly who I learned how to do the buffalo check painting from. And that is Whitney from Whiskey and Wit. Y'all, she's got the buffalo check painting down to an art. I mean, she knows exactly what she's doing. I will leave one of her videos linked below so that y'all can check her out because she's amazing, first of all. But she's definitely got the buffalo check down. So once I had my first set down, I just taped it off horizontally and painted my lines in with a real light gray color. I then go in with my washi tape once again. And I've got an extra piece there. You see that I keep laying an extra piece down. And that is just so that I can make sure that I keep my lines very crisp, very straight. Everything's in order. I just use that extra piece there just to make sure that I'm getting everything straight. So like I said, I just taped it off. Now we're taping it off vertically this time. And we're going to go in with that same gray paint and paint in those lines. Super duper simple. Now, don't do like me and pull all your tape off. Because once I did, I realized, oh crap, that's not what I was supposed to do. So I put it all back on. So leave it alone. After you do your second set, leave it alone. Then go back in with some more washi tape and put it over the lines that are lighter. You could actually, maybe on video you can't see it, but in real life you can totally see where those lines are a little lighter. You're going to leave that on there and then paint it with a darker color. So I went in with my chalkboard chalk paint, black, and just painted those little sections in. Then you peel it all off and check it out. Ah, I love it. I love it. So simple. All right, now when it comes to the calendar, I just simply cut out my little pumpkin picture. Now this is the one that's on the back of the calendar. Just cut it out. Tried to make it really, really straight. I tried to get all my lines really straight. I'm taking some of that Aleene's tacky glue once again, and I'm just going to add that directly to the back of that piece of paper and then pop that dude in the center of my little chunky block. So stinking cute. So stinking cute. All right, now I added some masking tape to the end of my twine. I've got some twine here that came from the Dollar Tree. And y'all have probably seen this a million times on this channel. But all I'm going to do is simply string it through my block. I'm then going to snip that off and actually tape up those two pieces into one. That way I can now string my beads. Super simple. You just want to get a point on the end of your twine, and then you can string your beads. I've seen some people do it with hot glue too, but I just find it to be just as easy to do with the tape. Now, I took my block and I wrapped it with my ribbon. I wrapped it probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 times. Pulled that off. Got my little loops all nice and even. I pulled them out straight, got everything even. I'm then going to snip that off. We're making a tassel. So I took some twine and I tied it in the very top of this set of loops. So it's tied at the very, very top. You're then going to tuck your finger in the middle of those loops at the top and then pull your 2 pieces of twine through that top. So I hope that y'all can see what I'm doing. This is very hard to explain. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing though. So once I got those 2 pieces pulled through, I tied in a knot at the very, very top. Just tied it off, snip that off, and then you're going to snip open your loops. So the loops at the bottom, you've got those snipped open. And I just go back and kind of trim mine just so that everything's even. And that was it. This was so simple, and it is so stinking cute. Ah! Okay, last but not least, DIY number 5. This one's probably my favorite, actually. So I've got these 2 sets of twine, and I've also got a few pieces of lamb's ear. This is strictly just the leaves. And then I've got a branch from my yard and my miter shears. Now, my miter shears did not cut that branch, so I actually had to take it out back and cut it with my saw. I took those 2 sets of twine and just simply opened them up, as you can see there. I then took the center where it was like tied together with the twine. Now this is the wired twine. And I just simply wrapped that around the other one. So you're making a ball with your twine. This is so stinking cute, y'all. All right, so I then added a little bit of hot glue to my stem here. Popped it in. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the leaves. I glued 2 of them together actually, and then glued it down inside there. So stinking simple. I saw these on Pinterest and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to make a set of these because they're so stinking cute. So I wanted one smaller, so I actually wrapped it around this paint can here. And then when I pulled it off, it wasn't as small as what I was wanting it. So I ended up just wrapping it around my hand, actually. So I just wrap it directly around my fingers. I wanted one a little smaller than the other one. Tucked it into the middle of it so that it would hold it together. Just like so. Super simple. I'm going to take my other side. Now, I already had it wrapped. And it's literally the size of my fingers. Wrap it around the center so that it'll stay, and then I'm going to open it up. Super duper simple, y'all. Open up the other one and then tie them together with the twine that was on the inside. So easy. And then now we've got a little baby one. How cute. I added in a stem and a leaf for this one. Now the leaf I did have to cut down because it was a little big, like compared to the size of the little pumpkin. So I did cut it down some and then glue it in. And then that's all I did to these. These are darling. And now for the final reveal. I hope that y'all have enjoyed. So this is where I take all my pictures, do all my little like final reveal, all that. But I just wanted y'all to see what's actually going on behind me. Behind the scenes. Say hi, guys. Hi, say hi, guys. Oh, they're so pretty. Pretty babies. Just are pretty babies, yes. Yes, they are. Oh my goodness. I just thought y'all might like that. All right, y'all, that is it for today. What did you think? Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite, which one you might actually try to recreate. These were so simple and just so affordable. Very, very cute stuff. All right, if you are new to this channel, don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed what you see. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and also give me a thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel. Don't forget to share this with your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a blessed day.